nowadays.
Hollywood in the hood. Doing it really, 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 really big. Yeah, y'all see who I got, but if you're not familiar, Mr. Tj Dow right here.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Thank you, TJ.
How you doing?
Now, if TJ Dow, yes, he's a councilman in Ward 7, and he's in the areas of, the Huff district now. Follow me, okay? Huff, Superior, St. Clair, and a little bit of the Asia Town neighborhoods, right?
That's right.
Huge responsibilities, man,
Yeah.
across the board.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It seems like you have to wear many hats, man, and take on a lot of personalities. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. I mean, you walk and talk with a lot of different people. You come across a lot of different folks. But at the end of the day, different people have different issues, and you have to just try to address them, So Ward 7 consists of 3 neighborhoods. So you have, like you said, Huff area. Rough Huff is what they call it, right?
Yeah, huh? Huff Harlem,
Huff,
son.
that's right.
Y'all heard of that. Y'all heard of that.
Yes. So and then we got St. Clair Superior. St. Clair Superior in Asia Town. And so different, very diverse ward. So you have a lot of Asians in it, and of course you got black folks,
Right.
and the Slovenian culture is from St. Clair Superior, but there's a lot of black folks there too.
How do you balance all that? Because some group might think you're appeasing the other group. So how do you balance that?
Well, one of the things that we do is, one, we welcome all to our community meetings, but we try to have community meetings in Asia Town, St. Clair Superior, and Huff. But at the end of the day, people have issues, and you just need to address them, whether they're white, black, orange, or green. It's pretty much usually the same issues, but of course, dealing with black folks, we deal with a lot of different issues, whether it be with poverty and just the whole gamut, And that's all I know, because that's all I represent for the most part,
Right.
But you try to address all their issues and concerns, and sometimes that there's always somewhat of a disconnect between the community and City Hall and with politics and folks not trusting.
Did you seek to fill that void? Was that
Absolutely.
part of your mission?
Absolutely. I came after Fannie Lewis, who was
wow,
for the people, right? Y'all love Fannie Lewis, right? Everybody loves
That
Fannie
was
Lewis,
your
right?
OG.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And I got it. That's right. She was the best. And so you have different politicians that might favor City Hall more. Then you have some politicians that are more in the community. I try to be more in the community. I try to represent my people. And so you're right. You definitely need to have that voice for the folks that don't feel that they do have a voice. But it's just a lot of different dynamics that goes with this. But Fannie Lewis was somebody that I worked under, had an opportunity to be her community organizer. Absolutely. And I learned so much from her the short period of time that I worked with her. But it helped me be more equipped to handle this position. So.
Well, I mean, where did that come from, wanting to be a servant of the people? Because it takes a lot, because people are pulling on you from all different angles, and they swear that you're not paying attention to them.
That's true. But, it's something that I kind of instilled in me. I just took a political science class and was drawn to it and said, this is what I wanted to do. I remember some of my roommates, I used to be in my room watching C-SPAN, and they'd be like, man, what are you doing watching that? So I would watch all the politician debate and all of that. And I think I bring a unique situation because I had an opportunity to live in Gary, Indiana with my grandmother, where we was poor. I remember the gas being cut off. We had to boil water, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And then on the flip side, didn't meet my father, but my mother met a man who was in the Air Force, and then he took me and my brother under. And so we kind of had, the best of both worlds. We lived poor at one time, and then we also was taken care of as well. Exactly. So I feel comfortable in any setting, so that's a good thing,
Right.
And it's a good thing for a politician.
Now you became a lawyer.
Yes.
Through all your transgression, you made it.
Yeah.
You went to school in what, Indiana?
Yep. You did your research, brother. Yeah. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I went to school. I went to undergrad at Ball State. But one of the things, when I was growing up, I was heavily into basketball, football. I played. Didn't really apply myself with my schoolwork, but I remember looking and seeing everybody else getting bigger and stronger than me, and so I knew that I had to change up, because I wasn't going no NBA.
I felt that same way, baby. I felt that same way. I couldn't dunk like my dudes, man. I couldn't do it, man. I could play some D though. I could play some D.
Well, y'all were talking about the Cavs. You might need, they might need you, man.
Right,
They should have enough offense. They need some defense.
I don't know. You became legal counsel. You became a lawyer.
Yeah.
Wow, man. How real is that? Now, what kind of lawyer were you?
I was a prosecutor for 5 years,
right.
Assistant county prosecutor, and so I knew you from somewhere. I recognize you too.
That's what they all say.
No.
That's what they all say. Who got a question? So who got a question? Hey, give him a mic, please. You got a question, Mr.
No problem.
What I want to say is, what made you want to study the law, and then how long did it take you to learn the law?
I did, well, one of the things that I did, my mother had me and my brother while she was in undergrad. And my mom wanted me to go to college, so I ended up going to college. And the crazy thing is, my mother was the one who filled out my college application. And she took me, that's right, she took me, and I remember.
Like the Rockefellers,
she wasn't no joke, And so she took me to a small town called Muncie, Indiana. And I went to this college sight unseen, and I remember we went to McDonald's, and I saw 3 white guys in these overalls. And I turned to my mom, I said, man, where did you take me, right? And I got there. She had 2 young boys while she was in college, so I said, look, I can at least try to get these books. I haven't, all throughout growing up, I always was the person that was going to copy off of somebody else's work,
right.
Do what I need to do to get the grade, because I didn't want to hear my mama mouth, because she was going to fuss if my grades wasn't right. So I said, look, you know what? I'm going to try this thing that I've put to the side all my life. I'm going to try to actually crack and open this book, right? And I sat in the library. I ended up, was still at like a close to probation my first semester, but I kept going and kept going. Yep, I was working 20 hours a week at dining services, and when I wasn't there, I was hitting those books. And finally, my grades started getting a little higher, and then my confidence rose. And I said, I'm going to go to law school. And that's what actually brought me to Cleveland State, Cleveland. So it's just building over time, just trying to get my confidence up too,
What drew you to city council, where you became legal legislative aid with them?
The crazy thing is, I wanted to be a state representative, and I had ran a couple times. I would bank my money and run, and the folks was just after me. They tried to blackball me and everything else because I got out there and ran. And the funny thing is when council was never the plan for me. Wow. I just worked under Miss Lewis because I wanted knowledge. I wanted to suck up the knowledge she had. And when she passed away, some of the folks in the community said, look, well, why don't you run? And I was resistant at first, but then I went ahead and ran.
What was your apprehension about? Why were you reserved to do it at first?
Well, I didn't know if I was, at the time, politics is a very nasty and dirty game, and there are some similarities, and so I really wanted to, and I had actually, after I had ran for state rep, I had promised my grandmother, because they're not politicians, the most they've done is voted. And I promised my grandmother that I was not going to run for office again. And despite that, I ended up running, and I did not tell her until the night that I won. And so I'm sitting around.
Guess what? Look, I didn't run and I didn't won, so don't even try to holler about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't worry, I'm in office.
Yep.
Okay? All right, don't worry about a thing.
Like, how do you help the community to, do you create jobs, or
I
do you
appreciate
talk to
that
the
question.
people?
Yeah, I
do you
appreciate
talk
that
to
question.
the homeless?
Yeah.
What do you do, in your position? I just gotta know. It's just killing me. I
appreciate that question. When you, as a council person, you are there to write legislation, but there is so much demand in the African American community that you have to do other things. just in the sense that I have the homeless shelter that is in Ward 7. So we go down there. I engage those folks. We try to bring food. We try to bring educational programs, all those types of things down there. But also, you got to help your seniors. You got to help your youth. So you're going outside of what a normal politician would do or a council person. I say all council people aren't created equal because there's different demands in different communities that you have. And so you may, in our community, I just feel obligated to give back. So we're always doing stuff in the community, always. And I always try to help folks. If you come and you have your program together, folks think that, I got a checkbook in the back of my pocket that says Bank of Cleveland, and I can just go ahead, just write you and go ahead, here you go, here $50,000, go ahead and do your thing. But yeah, but you gotta, if you are willing to work, we'll set up the different programs to get you where you need to be. And if it's a program, I think somebody, I can touch people a certain way just as somebody else that might be from the hood can touch them as well. And and they can have a different message and a different impact. And we definitely need those type of folks in front of our young people. I think if we're going to do that, we need that.
Well, TJ, you sit at vice chairman, last I checked, of a couple of big committees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The municipal service and properties committee. Mm-hmm. Transportation committee, development and planning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Those things, when you say parks and recreation, what we have to do is basically take care of any city properties. And that committee is so important because you're talking about, when it talks about my neighborhood, Thurgood Marshall Recreation Center. In this neighborhood, I think Glenville Recreation Center is served, right? Those things are so very important. So you always want to fight to make sure there's enough money to keep those recreation centers up and open, So that's when you talk about parks and recreations. That's why that committee is so important, because it keeps young people off the streets. If you're talking about transportation, you're talking about the airport. All those types of things, talking about those. And so how that affects this neighborhood, this community, is for you to make sure that your politicians are making the right decisions. So you may have downtown that generate a lot of money. You may have the airport that generates a lot of money. But the question is that money being reinvested back into this community? That's right.
How vested are you in ensuring that happens, that there is a trickle down?
Well, I'm always advocating for my people. Of course, I don't cover all of City Cleveland, but I cover Ward 7. Right. And so I take that very seriously, of trying to bring back resources. I get, and you try to think outside the box. So I get calls from mothers and grandmothers calling about their young child that missed the third grade reading guarantee by 2 or 3 points.
Right. And
they have to redo the entire third grade.
Right.
And so what we're doing is, what we're working on now is a learning center just focused on literacy from pre-K to third grade. And we'll be doing that within the summer. And so,
well, at least you got learning centers, because I know in a few communities they building prisons instead of schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How do we address issues like that, though? Because that's real.
Yeah. What we do, and all I can do is speak for Ward 7.
Yeah,
we are in the process of doing our resource center, and what we want to do is try to get young African Americans to start businesses. And what that resource center is, it will work with other organizations like the Urban League and all of these. I mean, folks don't know, if you want to start a business and you have a bona fide business plan and you have 10% of what the total cost is, and if it makes sense that you're going to be able to pay them back, what happens is SBA, Small Business Association, will guarantee, the government will guarantee your loan. So say if they give you $100,000, you come up with 10%, a roundabout, that you come up with your 10,000, the 90,000, the government will guarantee that 90,000. So what bank won't give you or loan you $90,000 if they know the guarantee, if you don't fulfill your obligations, is the government?
Oh,
right?
How real is that?
And so you have to be able to make sure that, one, you have someone that's hungry, that wants this business. And I know within my ward, we make sure that we will get you where you need to be.
Hey, one last thing, Mr. Dow. I know you gotta
Yep,
go.
yep,
You got the ear of the people in your ward right now. If you wanted to give them like a general something to leave with them right now, leave it with them.
I will just let them know that we're working very hard. We have not finalized anything yet, but we have a big project that is going to involve a resource center that's going to service our seniors and our youth. That's going to really talk about having all these workshops as far as economic development, starting businesses. We have the learning center for a literacy learning center for our young kids, but we're also going to be opening up a community office real soon that folks can come in to and take care of any problems or issues that they may have. So.
Oh, give it up, Mr.
Right,
TJ Dow. We'll be back in a minute. Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the hood.